At 7 o'clock, we're going to call this meeting to order. Clerk, please read the sunshine law.
That the minutes show that adequate notice of this meeting is required by Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, has been provided by the annual notice, which has been posted on the bulletin board filed with the Borough Clerk and has been sent to the Asbury Park Press, the Independent, the Star Ledger, and the Two River Times.
We have a roll call, please.
Councilman Sheridan. Councilman Cooper.
Here.
Councilman Good.
Here.
Councilman Pacheco.
Here.
Councilman Fotopoulos.
Here.
Councilman McDermott.
Here.
Mayor Kennedy.
Here. As a courtesy to those around you, please silence your cell phone. If we can all please rise for the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you could please remain standing for a moment of silence. This evening's moment of silence will be in honor of Mayor Robert Strang, who served in the Navy during World War II and served locally as a mayor and council member for over 7 terms. Thank you. We could go into committee reports, please. Councilman Cooper.
Okay, for the senior citizen, food vouchers were distributed on 6/25 and 6/28. These vouchers were handed out for the farm program. They had a meeting with the Keyport mayor. Mayor Collette did a wonderful job of capturing the attention of our members and made a good presentation. Carpet will be installed during summertime. Upon request, Monmouth County Office on Aging awarded additional monies, amending the budget in order to purchase new furniture for our living room, dining room, and other areas. The air conditioning is 28 years old, and Steve is working on a new system. Meanwhile, we're kept cool with good old-fashioned window units. A trip to the Camden Aquarium was done on the 7/10 with luncheon at P.J. Wilhelm's in Cherry Hill. July 17th, we're having a screening hearing for all seniors and interested personnel. On 7/31 is our summer party at the Gramercy at Lakewood in Hazlet. That's all from the senior citizens. On the Recreation Committee, yoga at the waterfront is going well. Tai Chi at the waterfront. Pilates at the waterfront. Beginning art lessons was also taking off at Art Space 88. And tap dancing lessons at Art Space number 88, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Good?
Thank you, Mayor. With regard to the fire department, for the month of June, they have 52 calls, bringing them up to a total of 264 for the year, which is about 450 man hours and actually over 2,100 man hours for the year. Let's see, that's with regard to the fire department. Planning board actually didn't meet, so I have no report on that, and that's what I have.
What? No competition in Austin? Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Pacheco?
Already reserved for next year's today.
So the police department had 1,090 calls for service, so that brings them up to an even 6,100 for the year. The detective bureau has 74 case files. I'd like to report we had no Narcan cited. And we had 19 PWIs. The KPD participated in the Special Olympic torch run on June 7th. They sent 2 officers to the prom. Well, I guess that's chaperones, probably not as guests. Chief Hafner attended the academic awards at Keyport High School on the 11th, and Officer Almack received the MAD Award for the most drunk driver arrest on the 13th. The department closed down Broad Street from Monroe to Jackson for the high school graduation. On the 21st, members of the department attended the summer kickoff at Borough Hall. They had specials working on Dog Night Out, and they said the event was great without any incidents. Digital speed signs were put out on 3rd Street to help deter speeders. They're going to move the sign to different locations. In addition to running radar and issuing summonses, we've ordered more of those speed signs and more pedestrian crossing signs. And a bunch of the officers attended the police expo. For the Harbor Commission, we met last Monday. The snapper contest is August 17th, so put that in your calendars. We also spoke about the new concessions over at the boat launch. Canoes, paddleboards, go check them out. And then Municipal Alliance met on Monday. We prepped up for the upcoming grant year, some programming, and we'll be having a Narcan training on August 26th. That's all I have.
We've had 19 WIs, was that for the month or for the year? So far? That's amazing. I mean, not amazing, there's not many people out there driving that.
But it's amazing.
Amazing that we stopped potentially some hazardous accidents from happening, so good job for that. Councilman Pacheco.
Thank you, Mayor. The Health and Registrar report, I didn't receive one this month, but we'll get one next month and submit it for the record and get some numbers. Oh, I have one in my copy, okay. I didn't see it in the, well, we have one for the record. I'll take a look at it and report on it next month if necessary. The Recycling Committee will meet this quarter. We did, as we all know, have an issue with the new branch disposal policy last meeting. But as stated at last meeting, if you have branches, please contact Donna Purcell in the Health Department and schedule an appointment to have the branches picked up from the curbside. The Keyport Environmental Commission did meet last month, and to summarize, we want to welcome Serena Sue, is that how you pronounce her name?
Yes.
And her initiative to help the borough with energy efficiency. She attended the Environmental Commission last month and has already added value by extending her reach a little bit into the Environmental Commission initiatives with her knowledge and willingness to assist us. We're proud to have her. I mean, I don't know how long we have her for, but we're going to take full advantage while we do. The Environmental Commission is going to move forward with proposing single-use plastic bag ban. We are making good progress. Member Heather Brady has synthesized and put together information that we'll use for info cards to hand out to businesses and residents explaining what we're going to do and the reasons for requesting the reductions in single-use plastic ban. We are moving forward with the ongoing brownfield inventory and prioritizing the list. We're going to look towards acquiring a consultant possibly to help us do that. A consultant will be paid not by the borough, but by an outside source. And also, we are on track to continue the mitigation and planting of shore grass in the October and November timeframe in the Cedar Street Park area, Cedar Street, Benjamin Terry, Veterans Park area. I believe that's it, Mayor. Thanks as always for allowing me to be of service.
I'm sorry, what did you say the consultant was for?
The brownfield inventory.
Oh,
It's,
great. Got it.
we're hoping for Matt Miller.
Cool. Thank you. Councilwoman McDermott?
Thank you, Mayor. So I want to add on to the recreational summer camp is going well. Don't forget that we have the 5K registration. It's continuing, which will occur September 21st. Regarding Public Works construction, we've had some key permits issued by the building department. 26 New Jersey Department of Community Affairs, DCA fees totaling $372. Code enforcement for COs, 37 totaling $3,344. Transfer titles of COs totaling $315. Zoning, we had 14, given $560. We did have violations, 2 of them, $1,000 total. And debris disposal, totaling four of them totaling $120. Clean Communities submitted their report, and they've also been awarded funding for 2019 NJCC program, funding from January 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020, with the borough share of $15,612.35, so that's great news. 2018 grants annual report was due 6/30 on June 30th, and it was submitted on time. There was a total collection by the KCC of 12,541 items, in which 5,607 were picked up this month. There is an additional staff member that helped support this increase in litter collection. And there was also 2 employees who received compliments, and that was shared with the borough, so that's always nice to hear. And we now have 4 KCC workers who are now full-time employees with DPW. The library submitted their comments by library board members individually for a grant program that's been long-standing, so they've opened it up to the public. So that was submitted, and the borough administrator will share more details on that. If you need more details, I can share that. KBBC, ribbon cutting, we had that this week, this past Saturday for 3 businesses, Lash Lounge, Salties, and Hamburger Patty. And it was well attended, and the businesses were very happy to see us there. The Keyport Yacht Club had 114 visitors and distributed 50 Keyport cash dollars, which is in $10 increments. And they were very appreciative of the partnership with KBBC on this. The grant submission for Route 35 and 36 area to support rehabilitation of businesses in the area was submitted, is in support by KBBC, and the borough's handling that with the grant team. And again, if that is awarded, we'll get $125,000 given to us for 1.5 years to use, and it was renewable after that, after we get that, so it's something that we could always approve for about 35 and 36 of the businesses there. Music Thursdays continues. I think we might have 2 bands this Thursday, but I'm not sure, because we did have a cancellation last Thursday due to weather. The car show is coming up next week, and if you know of anyone who's interested in registering their vehicles, please contact the KBBC. And Keyport Farmers Market continues every Thursday, 1 to 7. And one thing I want to add for the Canoe for You, which is at Bentil, where it has non-motorized sports activities on the boat. The hours are Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, weather permitting. So go there. They have flyers if you want to get your rates. Paddleboarding is all the great things you have. And they do have life vests for anyone who's not comfortable swimming. That is my report.
Thank you. Can we just clarify for the members of the public that are in attendance and for the record that the Keyport cash that was given out at the Keyport Yacht Club was for their open house. So they were bringing hopefully new people into town, and it was a way to work collaboratively together. So that's not on an ongoing daily basis. It was for an event that they had there.
Thank you.
Also, Councilman Good or Mr. Gallo, I noticed there's a hydrant that's covered on First Street. Do we know what happens with it?
There is, it's cold.
Versus one?
Yes, so we put a little blanket on it. I actually saw that yesterday. I'm not sure exactly what it is.
I'm sure it's out of service, I can find out why.
Mr. Gallo?
Sure. Good evening, Madam Chairwoman and council members on the day, as citizens here in the chamber. I'll briefly synopsize some of our activities since our last meeting, and then answer any questions you might have. Since our last meeting, I had the following meetings with individuals and organizations. I met with Kat Galley regarding her recreation programs at the waterfront, which are reported to have been going well. I met with the borough clerk and others regarding agenda preparation. We had a meeting with a number of Front Street businesses about dumpsters in the commercial district and our plan to move forward with that. Had a meeting with the new DPW superintendent, and we took a tour around town with the supervisor as well to identify issues that we felt need to be addressed. I attended the KBBC meeting. We met with Redevelopment Council, and I also had a meeting this afternoon on the 75 Manchester project. With regard to ongoing capital projects, the Beach and Beer Street outfall construction, the pipes have been ordered and the material is anticipated to be here by the end of August, and the contractor plans on mobilizing after September 1st. Improvements to Benjamin Terry and Veterans Park, project's just about complete. The new swing set is being installed. We are addressing punch list items, and those include problem with the sprinkler system, with a couple of the heads that didn't sit right and let too much water out and cause some erosion, as well as some modifications we feel are needed to kayak lockers. All of that should be resolved within the next week or so. On the DPW building at Rollo Place, the architect is finalizing the plans, Trevor reports, and we should have final plans in August to go out to bid. Scattered site redevelopment, as I mentioned, we met with our planner and redevelopment council this afternoon to begin the preparation of the redevelopment plan for 75 Manchester. And also we're seeing some activity at 333 First Street, indicating that they may be about ready to break ground. With regard to our 2018 road program, Phase 1, this project is essentially complete. They are in the middle of resurfacing Monroe Street, and they finished Walnut Terrace today. Excuse me. There will be a few punch list items, but that phase should be completed. Phase 2 and Phase 3 are currently in design. The design is actually finished and being reviewed by the engineers, and we hope to be out to bid within the next week to 10 days. Our Transportation Alternatives Grant is still waiting for approval from the state to move forward with the selected consultant. Main Street Park, a pre-construction meeting was held at the county last week to ensure compliance with the CDBG portion of the grant funding. We expect to break ground on this project very soon. We will probably have a little ceremony commemorating that event. We also are awaiting word on Green Acres funding for improvements to Jack Conway Park, and we're looking to do other upgrades at various parks so that we can bring them all up to standard within the coming years. With regard to redevelopment projects on Mariners Village, I spoke with Roger Miller, who is one of the project partners, and he tells me that they're presently reconfiguring some layout of the marina that will assist them in complying with project approvals, and then they'll be filing their subdivision with the planning board shortly thereafter. Aero Marine, we haven't seen any action on this lately, although we have had an increasing number of inquiries from developers looking to take a tour of the property and engage the owner in a conversation about sales. I mentioned scattered sites. We met on 75 Manchester. We're going to be engaging a parking consultant to assist us with an analysis of parking throughout the borough, as well as the need for a parking deck. On Longview Boat Works, I spoke with one of the principals of PRC, and he told me that they had an issue with a demolition permit, which we were able to resolve, so they'll be removing apparently there's a couple upland buildings they have to demolish, and that they should be ready to start construction in the fall. We had a meeting with the owner of the 149 West Front Street project, the old E Cottage Inn, and they agreed to secure the property and put up a safety fence to protect the bulkhead, which is damaged. They've also engaged an engineer to design and execute a repair of the bulkhead, and they are moving forward with their permits and expect to have the bulkhead restored by October and be under construction with the actual project by the spring. They also told me that they will have a dumpster enclosure constructed within the next 2 weeks. Perry Street Water Treatment Plant is going along fine. Complete Streets, there's an RFP out on the street for the services that will bring us the development of our Complete Streets policy, as well as Complete Streets ordinance, and hopefully we'll be much more active on that come September. County dispatch is continuing without any major issues. The flood control ordinance updates. Trevor reports that he's received some additional information from Mike Lane, which he's reviewing, and I expect to have a draft of the ordinance available for our next meeting. Shared services, we have on our agenda a renewal of our shared services agreement with the county, which is for various and sundry services that they may offer, and we're also talking to neighborhood towns about different ways we can do things. We're working on public Wi-Fi for Borough Hall, and that should be available in the fall. The library bond has finally been, the guidelines have finally been issued, and they are being reviewed by our grants council, our engineer, and we expect to have an application in for that funding for next year. Summer camp's going very well. Our registration finally passed 100 campers today, which is great news because that's the break-even profit and loss number. And we don't have any reports of any issues or problems. Summer programs on the waterfront continue to be well received. This week's movie is Jumanji 2, which is actually a lot of fun. I think we've had a pretty good selection of movies this summer. And as council member McDermott mentioned, the boathouse is under contract with a company called Canoe to You that seems to be doing a pretty brisk business. This morning I saw four kayaks in the harbor, and they seem to be doing very well, so that's a positive. We're also working with, as Councilman Fotopoulos mentioned, Serena Sue, who is our consultant on loan to us, unfortunately only for about another 3 weeks, who's working on energy projects and helping us earn our Sustainable Jersey Bronze recertification. We're also working on a contract with a consultant who will assist us in marketing our energy needs and seeing if we can get a better price. We received the Neighborhood Preservation Program grant, and we're just awaiting the details. There's a kickoff meetings in the coming weeks that I will attend and find out what our next steps are. We're also continuing hazard mitigation. I met with Councilman Sheridan and Ken Crow, and we're going to be finalizing our list and forwarding it to the county's consultant in the near future. Then finally, the water leak on Atlantic Street has been repaired. It involved much more than it should have. We couldn't get a shutdown on the leak because there were no valves on the line, so we put 2 insertion valves upstream and downstream of the leak, and then they repaired the leaking 4-inch service line today, and they're doing restoration work tomorrow, so that project is complete as well.
Mr. Gallo, on your updates on the parks, you mentioned in the written report that for new projects for Therese and Cedar Street.
Yes.
What do we plan on doing there?
Yes.
Do we have to apply for grants for that? Or
We do, yeah. Most of the work we do in parks is funded by grant funds, whether it's Green Acres or county open space supplemented by our own local open space funds, or we've gotten equipment from Kaboom in the past, so we try to get together as much as possible that comes from not taxpayer sources directly. So we'll be applying for both of those, and we need to do some work at Cedar Street. That's important.
And so could we use CBDG for that?
We could, yes. At least for Teresa Street, I don't know about, I think Cedar Street is not in a census tract that's eligible.
There's a gentleman behind you shaking their head, so I guess that's enough.
Correct,
Yeah. Yeah, Lockport is, for some strange reason, it's not a low mod income eligible tract. So Teresa Street is in, but Lockport is not in.
And would that impact the application that's on the agenda for tonight for CBDG?
No.
CBDG? Okay. Anyone else have questions?
Yes. The bike share program, I'm sorry if I missed it. Do we have more bikes out there for the bike share program?
We've been talking to them.
We've answered their phone call.
They have not responded, unfortunately. I've been going back and forth via email. The woman that we dealt with has left the company, although her company email is still active. But the bikes went away for the winter, and I don't think they ever came back. So I think there's about 15 bikes in town right now. When we initiated the program, there were supposed to be about 50. So I'm hopeful to get some new bikes here soon.
If we don't hear from them, do we want to start,
There are alternatives.
do we want to start another?
Yeah, we
another
can start the
program?
research process again. I mean, there's probably other DOCLIS programs out there at this point. I don't know if I want to revisit DOCT. It's certainly a discussion we can have.
It seems to be working well. I mean, there are other
Yeah.
dockless
That's what I'm saying, we can
companies.
research other companies.
Okay.
See more than that.
Because this is ongoing now for months, so.
Yeah, I don't see the harm in
And the big
And
push
it's
is,
not responsive, I just don't appreciate that.
I think they've
especially since we
exploded
were-
in terms of,
Yeah,
you know,
they wanna
they've
focus on
overextended
scooters,
themselves.
right, but,
Scooters is right, yeah.
right,
Yep.
So we'll do some research.
okay.
Other than that,
I have a question. Steve, does 149 West Front Street need a permit for the dumpster enclosure?
I believe they would, yeah.
Okay, have they applied or anything like
I
that?
don't know if they have.
Wait, do you need the existing fishery? 149 is the,
Right,
Yeah,
yes, the existing fishery, correct.
yeah, I'll find out tomorrow.
And Lockport, is there any way we can get them in?
You'd have to move in a lot of low and moderate income people.
Okay.
let change, hope it doesn't change, but could the new census kind of jigger with that?
The new census will provide data that will drive whether or not a census tract is eligible for CDBG funding.
and then one last one, I know we had, worked with the superintendent of the school and they were gonna share, their deep cleaning floor machinery.
Yeah, they're supposed to come and do a cleaning of the floors here sometime in August.
Okay, I thought it was July. Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I just have one question. With the harbor, the meeting you're having with the Monmouth University, who was included in this meeting?
It has not been scheduled yet, they haven't responded yet.
So who will be included in this meeting?
I was planning on going with Greg and myself.
Okay.
Steve,
Can you,
can I be looped in?
yeah, yeah, can we be included in the meeting if possible?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, a few other updates, some of the mayor's updates. The next House of Worship Emergency Personnel Tour will take place tomorrow evening with members of the emergency departments, as well as any council member that would like to attend. Just a public reminder that in the month of August, there's only one borough council meeting, and we encourage people to attend National Night Out on the first Tuesday of August, as well as Fireman's Fair. That's their biggest fundraiser of the year to help keep them operating and going all year to serve us as a community. The Borough Council meeting is August 13th in the month of August, as opposed to the first and third Tuesdays. I visited the summer camp on Friday, and as Mr. Gallo reported back, it's going extremely well. Last summer, every Friday off, I was at the camp dealing with some challenges, so it was nice just to sit at the craft table this time and just do crafts with the children. I also toured the school projects with Dr. Savoya, the school superintendent, on all the upgrades that they have underway, thanks to the referendum that passed. Saturday night, myself, Councilwoman Burnett, and Councilman Sheridan attended the dinner at the American Legion to celebrate their 100th anniversary, which they're the oldest serving American Legion in Monmouth County and one of the oldest in the country. So it was very well attended and a very nice event. I met with the co-chair of the Bayshore 2020 initiative. Looks like we have secured some funding to help this entire initiative, which is very exciting. We had ribbon cuttings, as Councilwoman McDermott mentioned. We had Councilwoman Pacheco and I both attended a party on Saturday to welcome home a local military member. The car show is July 25th, as noted, with the rain date of July 26th, but we're not allowed to have rain, so we're going to do July 25th. The convertibles don't like that. And we have 3 upcoming weddings in the next week and a half, so that's exciting. That's the report. Now we will go on to the consent agenda.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Oh, sorry, yes.
So just what location are you using for the tour, the emergency?
Everything is identified in the report.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's okay. Thank you.
We didn't hear what you said, Mayor.
It was identified in the email. We'll do it, we'll announce afterward what we're touring. It's just for safety reasons, so.
Oh, got it, okay, thank you.
Consent agenda, Resolution 2/2019 is the 2019-2020 liquor license renewal for Keyport Liquor 56, which is Keyport Liquor and Deli on Broad Street. Resolution 2/2119 is payment of bills. Resolution 22219 authorizes submission of a grant application to execute a grant contract with the New Jersey DOT for the 2020 Bikeways Grant. Resolution 22319 authorizes submission of a grant application and execution of a contract with the New Jersey DOT for the 2020 Safe Streets to Transit Program. Resolution 22419 authorizes the borough engineer to enter into a shared service agreements with the county. Resolution 22519 authorizes an interchange power and gas to act as an energy consultant for the borough. Resolution 22619 authorizes the return of a portion of the escrow deposit held for a road opening permit for repair in the vicinity of Block 92, lots 2 and 3. The applicant is Marati. The amount is $2,200. Resolution 22719 authorizes the extension of the lease agreement for 120 Francis Street, that's Unit 18, our DPW location. Resolution 22819 is confirming the emergency declaration by the borough engineer that the water service issue at Atlantic Street constituted an emergency and ratifying the authorization for the borough to make any necessary payments for repairs. Resolution 22919 adopts a revised plan from Lincoln Retirement Services LLC regarding the employee deferred compensation program. Resolution 23019 supports the NJDOT's Broadway Bridge project. And Resolution 23119 approves a meeting agenda preparation policy and schedule for the Borough Council.
Prior to opening to public, Mr. Gallo, on R230-19, I just have a question on that one. The wording on it is just a little concerning to me. Because I know when you had met with them, you said that they were going to come out and do some studies.
Yes.
But the resolution indicates that we're allowing them to do the studies and go ahead with the project without us even knowing what the project might be. And many years ago, that wasn't a bridge, so I'm just concerned. I feel like we would want to know, I don't know if we have any say in what they do, but I feel like we should be privy to the survey results prior to them being, this authorizes them to do the survey and move forward with the project, and I don't know.
They do not need our authorization to do anything.
I know.
This just supports it. Without this resolution, they won't proceed. So, we can modify it, I guess. I mean, it's basically saying that we want them to do something about the bridge. And it says study, develop, and execute a plan for enhancing and improving the Broadway Bridge. I'm not sure I understand what you would like to remove.
I think the word
Execute.
Okay.
I don't know, I'm asking, I mean, I'm open to discussion on it.
Oh, no, I was just answering, I knew what you were looking for.
Yeah, we could remove that language and,
I mean, as you said, they may move forward and do whatever they want, but I mean.
but they made it clear, without this resolution, they're not gonna do anything.
Did they give you this specific
This
resolution?
is a template, yeah, that they've used in other communities.
So they gave us this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be,
Okay, I just read it and thought.
no, I agree with you, I just think
Yeah,
that
actually-
when the DOT starts saying, here, pass this, they usually don't meet.
Do they typically kind of present the results?
Oh, they'll be happy to come and meet with you anytime you want. Yeah, they met with us before they started.
Okay.
There's also, if you're finished, Mayor, I'm sorry.
For that one, but I have
Yes.
questions on other ones, which.
I have a question on that one.
Okay, go ahead.
They're specifying what the light and the lanes are going to do. We're specifying in this resolution.
Actually, that was us, I believe.
Yeah, we added that.
We added that one after
Right,
residents from that street had requested that because they can't turn left when.
No, I'm in agreement with
I
that.
didn't
The
know
only
if
thing
you
is,
knew that.
oh, that's good,
It
yeah.
was, several residents notified us that when, they're coming up Maple to turn left onto the one-way, they can't turn left because the residents keep turning right on red.
Mhm.
So they can't safely turn onto their own street.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with, I'm actually in agreement with that, but I'd like to add, actually, it was a citizen, Mr. Straub, actually, in a conversation, we were talking about this, we were riding in one of the electric vehicles from the parade, and he brought up a good point that the left lane should just be a turn left, and the right lane should be a crossover and a turn right, as it stands, especially if we're gonna do a right on red only. I mean, not right on red only, but we're not gonna have a turn on red. You follow what I'm I'm saying? So instead of having people wait in the left lane for folks to navigate the left turn, we should move that straight crossover to the right side, if that's possible, in the resolution to indicate our desire. Does everybody follow what I'm trying to say? Am I getting it right, Mr. Straub?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this?
Oh, I understand, but is this a county road? Do we have any say over
The
any of
county,
this?
the county won't do anything, without DOT approving it, and DOT won't do anything without us requesting it.
So, but I mean, if we put something in about this, are they gonna say, yeah, congratulations,
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, we could add it.
If we put it in, at least we're putting it out there that we would like to see it happen, we're putting it on the record.
Yeah.
If the rest of the council's in agreement with what I'm suggesting.
We can add it. Just need to know what the words are.
When we go forward to approve on that, we'll just have to make that note, whoever motions, okay?
The word, I suppose, well, okay, so the wording currently is,
Eliminate.
as well, no, just as the
Eliminate
last
the
thing,
right
just
turn
say,
on.
just say, at the western end of the bridge crossing, as well as, switch the left lane to left turn only, and have the right-hand lane proceed
straight
straight
right.
or turn right.
that sounds good.
Sounds like it's for a living.
Okay.
I have something else with this one.
Oh, with this one? Yeah, okay.
I know we were talking about, but like, in the discussions, I guess, and I don't know, maybe it's not part of this. We were talking about potentially adding artwork on that. Did we ever find out, like, if there's any,
Artwork on,
like, the bridges and stuff to say welcome to Keyport or?
actually, we're talking about a different bridge.
Oh, it's
The
different, okay,
railroad
all right, I
bridge,
just.
Yeah.
wasn't-
The railroad bridge it's like an orphan, and the county seems to have some kind of ownership interest in it. This is a DOT bridge, and I'm not aware that they paint anything on their bridges but green.
Also on the Rolo place, the Francis,
Yes.
will they only agree to approve it for 2 years, or can we please go out to one since?
Well, the resolution states up to 2 years.
Yeah, but they
Okay.
only offered us.
I know,
Their
that's,
letter
I understand what the letter says. What the resolution does is give me the authorization to enter into a lease with them for up to 2 years, not guaranteed 2 years, and I will present it as such to them.
Okay, and what happens if they say no, since the lease is up
I
at the
need
end
to
of
look at the
month?
expiring lease and see what this is basically an extension of the expiring lease, and I believe there was a 90-day clause in that lease. So you have to double check that, but in no case am I gonna lock us into something that, we may not need.
Okay. And we've identified places for the dumpsters that were previously stored on, the Willow Place.
Yes.
To be moved somewhere else, right?
That's correct,
I know
yes.
that was one of the hesitating things. And then, back on June 18th, we tabled a request, from Mr. Fahey for a return.
Yes, I'm still waiting for the construction office to get me a number on it.
Okay, great, thank you. And there was one final question I had. Nope, that's a communication question, never mind. Councilman Katopoulos, I believe you sent an email earlier. I did not go back to check my email after that initial one earlier. Did you still have a question on one of the?
Thank you, Mayor. We addressed it in all our discussion. I appreciate the,
Okay, so if there's no other questions on the,
I do.
yeah,
On, Steve, on 2/24/19, the shared service agreement,
Yes,
is there any reason why the effective dates go from 2018, October 1, 2018, which?
that's when it expired, and they only recently, they have a new shared services coordinator who brought this issue up recently, but they're renewed every couple of years, and, apparently there wasn't any request last year to renew it, so.
I know we pretty sure
Done in the
voted on
past.
it. I thought we voted on it last year.
I don't think it was last year, but we had definitely been on the past.
Okay, and it's to 2028?
That's what they wanna do?
Alright, okay. The only other question actually is, Victoria, you're the Drug Alliance.
Yeah,
Some of these bills,
we had to spend down the remainder of the grant funds,
okay.
so that's why a lot of stuff came in, like, in the past couple weeks.
Okay, because I was gonna go with $1,600 for, what's it, cups,
That was,
tumblers.
yep,
Summers.
that got us.
Okay, if we're just
I got
bringing down.
us to zero, so close enough.
Okay, then, that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
2/26/19 for the return of the road opening permit. I'm guessing that was inspected, right? I believe I
Yes, the
read it back
engineer
through.
signed off on it.
Yep. Great, okay. Can I have a motion to open to the public, please?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public wish to come forward on anything on the consent agenda? Mr. Cox?
Daniel Fox, 40 Church Street. Can you just elaborate on 224, what shared services were entering into the town?
It's a list of items that are available if we request them. Valerie, is it part of?
Yes.
Yes.
Part of the packet is a
Today.
services available.
So something we don't have yet, or?
No, we do.
No, I knew that. I was wondering if they had it out there.
Oh, it's.
It just says entering into shared services with the
Oh,
county.
there's a.
In the black book, it should be.
Oh, I
have
didn't-
for us.
There's a list of things including diesel inspections, equipment use, guardrail installation, mowing, plowing, salting, sanding, street sign info, a whole list of things that the county offers. Now, we're not obligated to take them up on it, they're just saying that if you want to, these are available, you can pay us.
And are we I'm sorry, go ahead, Mayor.
It allows us if something, for instance, we had a consecutive blizzard and we may not have the manpower to clear all the streets in a timely manner in an extreme circumstance, or if some of our equipment broke down, it enables the borough administrator to contact the county to ask for assistance for equipment from them or something.
Are we renewing our contract with the county dispatch?
That is not part of this.
Yeah.
So we haven't renewed it.
We have not done anything else with county dispatch since December.
Then how come you signed a contract with the county on July 1st for county dispatch?
That wasn't.
That was the initial.
The initial was signed by Mayor Allman.
You asked for the agreement, I sent it to you,
Right.
and that's what you
Well,
looked
the
at.
first agreement was not signed, and then the next one was signed by the county. But how could we operate since March without an agreement with the county?
We had an agreement, we just didn't have a signed agreement.
And other question with the county, to the police commissioner. How many patrol officers, including sergeants, detectives, chiefs?
Is this on the agenda, this portion of the agenda?
I'm just asking a question. It's under shared services.
The police department is not under shared
Which is far
services.
more shared services.
The county dispatches.
But this
It's
is a
not.
different agreement.
The
mean,
consent
it's
agenda has nothing to do with the shared services and dispatch.
Yeah.
But you just signed the contract with them.
It's not on the
consent
agenda.
agenda.
Okay. Can we discuss things that were brought up during your
Yes.
thing? Okay. To the property maintenance. 43 Fulton Street. I believe that's right across from your house.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple violations. Broken windows, 5 cars, trailer blocking the sidewalk. How come if you're in charge of property maintenance, you haven't made a complaint, had this property cleaned up?
What was the address again?
It's for the people.
You look at it every day when you walk out of your house.
There are people there that go in there once a month and they fix it. but
That has not, that's, the last complaint was May. Nothing
It's
has been
actually,
done.
right now, they did go in about 2 weeks ago and they did do some stuff and clean it up. But they are
Just 2
hit with
weeks?
summons violations, they are, it's an
They were
event.
one of the two that you listed that got $1,000 fine?
I can't tell you exactly which properties were fined, I can look into it. It wasn't listed exactly which ones were fined.
Because I mean, you can't even walk across the sidewalk.
But what I'm saying to you is like, I do know that they've actually, someone went in there a few weeks ago and they've cleaned it up. But again, thank you, I'll follow up with the borough.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cox. Mr. Lee?
Michael Lane, 51 First Street, Keyport. About the fire hydrant in front of 55 First Street. It was attacked by a car. There was a car and a person at 55 First Street, unknown. The resident at next door at 67 First Street questioned him what he was doing there. Unfortunately, that's a very wide driveway. Some people think that's an extension of Church Street to the waterfront. And he took off in a hurry. And the police came. The police have all the information.
Okay. Thank you.
The resolution 223-19, safe streets transit program. What is that about?
Every year,
We're making application for grant funding for a project to include a safe crossing of the creek on Green Grove so that pedestrians don't have to walk in the street.
Oh, that's great.
we've applied in the past, unfortunately, we haven't received it, but
Yeah,
we
it's
keep
a different
applying.
project, yeah.
Thank you very much. That's a fantastic need.
No doubt.
Anyone else want to comment? Yes. Mr. McDonald.
George Wallen, 54 Second Street. To touch on what Mr. Lane said about 55 First Street, the borough was actually there. They cut a hole in the road, I guess, to be able to shut that hydrant off.
Okay.
And I guess nobody told you guys any of this?
George, when did this happen?
The borough was there, I'm gonna say probably Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, I thought the Public Works is making a repair, they don't report everything that they do.
So turn it off.
Okay. Well, do the police report anything they did?
Sure.
Okay,
When,
so
in an
you didn't
incident
know
like
about
this, they would give us a copy of the report and we'd file a claim with our insurance company and then they would pursue, if we have an identifiable responsible party, we would try and get recovery from them.
Right,
If that's what you mean by do the police report it, yes, they do report stuff to our office.
all right, so I can open it tomorrow from Denise and she'll tell me that.
You don't
they
even
did.
have to open it, just come up and ask for it, we'll give it to you.
All right, we'll
And we
change
did
this.
speak about the accident, I just didn't realize that the fire hydrant was
Pardon me?
covered. And we did speak about the accident.
Who did?
I texted the chief usually when I find out about some sort of accident.
And when did you find out about it?
Was it Friday? I can check my text messages.
Well, no, I can open the text message then?
Can you open text message?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's a tool being used to talk about government.
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's go down to 23019. There's no bridge on Broadway.
At the base of Broadway.
That bridge is Maple Place.
The name of the bridge according to NJDOT is
It's
Broadway Bridge.
Project, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah,
That's what they call it.
that's the name
Well,
of their
as long
project
as
and
I've
their
lived in
meeting.
town, Broadway goes directly
No,
straight
no,
across the
they're not saying
highway.
it's Broadway, they're saying it's the Broadway Bridge.
We didn't name it.
I didn't, no, I'm just asking, because again, we're approving something to be done.
It's actually not Maple either, it would be Westport.
It's considered Maple though,
I'm just.
because it goes.
They
It could be
consider it
either.
Broadway.
Okay, they consider it
Right,
Broadway.
so you're
No,
saying if
they
I go
just
home and I
named the
Google, I
bridge.
can look up Broadway Bridge?
I don't know what you'll find.
What?
I'm I'm just telling you the language they gave us that they wanted in the resolution,
All
George.
right, well, I'm just trying to get a clarification, because as long as I've lived in town, which has been all my life, there's
Okay,
never been a bridge on Broadway.
understood.
Has there been a terrace on Walling?
Pardon?
Has there been a Walling terrace?
There's a Walling
It
Terrace.
was paved today.
I'm just.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
darn it, see, you got me.
There you
sorry.
go, you had your
I
opportunity.
did, I
They
did.
gave you that much,
I
and
know,
look
I
what you
messed
did.
it up, I did.
Thanks.
Sorry. Oops, I noticed the call. Anyone else from the public?
Motion closed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
For a matter of record, we'll note that Councilman Sheridan has joined the day. Welcome.
He's fast on his feet.
We have approval of resolutions,
I'll move it.
unless there's further discussion. Approval of resolutions, Councilman Good's motion,
Second.
and I have a roll call, please.
Councilman Sheridan?
Abstain.
Sorry. Councilman Cooper?
Yes.
Councilman Good?
Yes.
Councilman Pacheco?
Yes.
Councilman Pataplis?
Yes, with the changes we're making to
The new
2:30
language.
next week, yeah.
2:39.
2:30 next week, yes.
Councilman McDermott?
Yes. Before moving on to the next part of the agenda, I'd like to offer Councilman Sheridan, if he would want us to report anything for his monthly report. But you don't have anything on the spot if you're,
I just wanted to say that
just so you know, we covered that there was a cadet competition last month.
And the schedule's one for next year.
you guys are good.
So you don't need to report, okay, no problem.
I just wanted to say that the Keyport Historical Society had a very successful Mrs. Walling presentation, standing room only. They did a really nice job, good presentation. And look forward to the great presentations this summer, or the rest of the summer, at the Historical Society. Thank you.
Thank you. At this point, we'll have a public hearing for the contents of the fiscal year 2020 CDBG application, which will be submitted to the Monmouth County Office of Community Development. At this point, I'd like to turn it over to an engineer or anything else.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. We have Matt Zwingraft from CME Associates, the engineer who's assisting us with this application. Annually, we make application to Monmouth County, who administers the countywide Community Development Block Grant Program. That is a program that provides federal funds for projects in targeted neighborhoods. The funds can be used for various and sundry purposes. In this particular instance, we wanted to put a project together that would repair both curbs and sidewalks on Broad Street. I had taken a walk with the concerned resident last year, and she pointed out, rightfully so, that the sidewalk for kids going to school is almost impassable. The curbs have sunk or they're non-existent. There's trenches with dirt in them, and the sidewalks themselves are cracked and broken. So we wanted to do this project to allow kids to have a safe opportunity to walk along a solid sidewalk. It would also include handicapped accessibility improvements and other indicators at the transitional places along with the crosswalks. So that's what we're applying for, and these types of projects are generally viewed favorably because of the ADA component, and we'd like to entertain the public and see if they have any questions or comments about it, which is required as part of the application process.
Anyone from the dais have any questions before we open it to the public?
Can't hear you.
I just asked if anyone on the dais has questions before opening it to the public. Would it be entirely impossible to extend it down to Elizabeth or Warren Street?
Yeah, we could certainly include that in the application. I mean, it's probably an extra 200 or 300 feet that could be added in there.
Yeah, we can extend it. The more you ask for, the less likely you're going to get it. But we'll give it a shot.
Okay, so I mean, the area that is identified is heavily used by students and you all know I'm in favor of having more people walk to school, so
Sure.
if you think that that could risk the application, then I guess we'll leave it as is, and then maybe the following year we
We'll talk
can-
to our consultants and see what they think the impact would be.
Okay.
And the idea was to do this on a multi-phase basis, and also try and cajole the county into paving the street once we're doing the curbs and sidewalks.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else from the dais before we go to home? Have a motion open to the public? Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public wish to, yes, Mr. Bell?
Andrew Kelsey, 29 St. Peters. Is there a possibility of including some street calming design to this while we're at it?
Yeah, I believe included in the application that we have right now, we do include at least one raised pedestrian crosswalk at the mid-block crossing in front of the central school.
Okay, that's great.
And we can certainly look at other areas that might be good candidates for some kind of traffic calming, but I think keep in mind, we just have to clear that with the county as well, since it's
Sure.
a county road.
Okay, great, that's all, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lane?
Michael Lane. I think the Broad Street sidewalks are in tremendous need of improvement. They're really in bad shape. Who represents the borough at the planning meeting or the competitive meeting?
Either me or Valerie have gone in the past, the engineer goes as well.
Oh, okay. So I've done it in the past. It's very competitive. So,
Everybody generally walks away with something though.
no.
That's
That's
been
not-
my experience in recent years.
All right, when I did it, which was about 15 years ago,
Uh-huh.
you could only win about every third year, and so that would be great. The crosswalks at Maple and Broad, are they well identified?
In the scope of the grant application or currently as they stand?
Currently.
I believe they would be in need of some ADA upgrades. I think that signal was put in probably before some of the more stringent ADA standards came into place.
Any chance we can get the buttons with, like we have at the corner of West Front and Broad? You press the button, you get a red hand changing to a white stick person.
We can certainly ask for that, but that would be the county's responsibility, so I don't know that I want to use these grant funds for that, but they seem amenable when we have suggestions. I'll certainly talk to the county.
I think it's really needed, is this, if you look at the crosswalk situation, make sure they're well identified, and if there's any way to help with the traffic light signal.
Thanks, Mr. Lane. Anyone else? Got a motion to close the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Can I ask a question after public comment?
On this?
Have we, not knowing whether we've done this, have we done this in the past for this particular section and not gotten the grant?
Have we done these?
Have we asked, no, not done the improvements, have we applied for this grant for this section and not received?
No.
Okay. And this is strictly with the, is this gonna coincide with any other improvements besides the sidewalk?
Again, I'm gonna ask the county to pave the street now that we're doing the curbs and sidewalks. Whether or not they'll do it is an open question.
And I might have missed this when you were explaining it, Steve, I apologize if that's the case, but what is the percentage of our responsibility along with the block grant if we do receive it?
We would expect that the block grant funds would cover 100% of the project.
100% of the project?
Yes.
And as you say, just because we're applying doesn't mean,
They've been pretty good at, making sure everybody gets something. Sometimes you don't get all the money that you want, but they'll give you a portion of it, and we can scale back the scope. But for handicapped accessibility and ADA, those usually come first.
so they would, is there a chance that they would patchwork it with just the accessibility? And the
I don't
ADA
think so. I think we're gonna get this right.
Okay.
But we do what we do.
I'm elated that we're doing this. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Yep.
There is no need for a vote on this hearing. It should be noted that Councilman Good was not present for the entire public hearing.
I was here for the public, I was looking here for Dennis's comments.
Which is fine with me, Pat.
Okay, next we'll move on to the public hearing and adoption of ordinances. Ordinance number 14-19, amend parking restrictions on Madison Street. The clerk will read the ordinance by title.
Amending Chapter 7, Traffic, to reflect revised parking restrictions at Madison Street.
May I have a motion to open to the public?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public wish to speak on the on the restrictions on Madison Street? Seeing that no one's raising their hand, we have a motion to close.
Motion closed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion on this? Have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Motion.
Second?
Have a roll call, please.
Councilman Sheridan?
Yes.
Councilman Cooper?
Yes.
Councilman Good?
Yes.
Councilman Pacheco?
Yes.
Councilman Pataplia?
Yes.
Councilman McDermott?
Yes. Have a motion authorizing the clerk to publish the ordinance as adopted?
Move it.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstain? Next, we have communications by consent. Does anyone wish to have any commentary on items number 1 through 5?
I have questions for 4 and 5. Hi.
Hi.
I was just curious what your game plan was for like base camp and,
Actually, we are starting our day over
Oh,
at
sorry,
Union
hold on
Beach.
1 second.
Oh, forgive me.
sorry.
That's okay, we need to identify who he is.
Oh, my first town hall, I
Then no
apologize.
worries.
Jose Torres.
If you could come up to the table on the microphone and just state your name and address.
Jose Torres, 165 Columbia in Brooklyn. I'm an assistant location manager with ABC Studios, and we would love to do some driving shots for our upcoming TV show Emergence on Broad Street.
You wanted the
Councilman
council in the
Pacheco.
shots?
Just the left side.
Oh.
Oh, I thought you meant like your left side.
Yeah, his left.
So I was curious, I guess I have a little experience in this. Do you have a game plan for like base camp or kind
Yeah,
of
we actually started our day over at Union Beach by Jacob Bob's,
Okay.
and we're
Oh, I put the base camp over there.
we're gonna film there for about 3 hours in the morning and then move here, and everything stays there, outside of one equipment truck, which of course we need to bring camera
Yeah.
and stuff with.
Okay, cool, I was just curious.
Is this
Um,
gonna? Go ahead, Mayor.
I just want to point out, I know your proposed date is July 22nd, correct? I just want to strongly emphasize that if for whatever reason the weather is not cooperating that day, July 25th is a very important day, and that could be critical because we have our car show that day,
Okay.
and West Front Street is closed beginning at, is it 4, Steve? Jack?
3.
3. So I just want to point that out, and the rain date for that is July 26th, so.
Okay,
and people
so
are already
25th and 26th off nights. No problem.
I actually have another question.
Of course.
Estimate time?
We're hoping to be here by 11. It's actually a two-part kind of situation. First shot would be on Broad Street. It's indicated in the work that Ms. Howell has. Basically, it's a car coming in hot, meaning that it's kind of speeding down the street. Not as fast as it looks on TV, but fast enough. We will be hiring 5 officers to be with us for the duration of the shoot for safety. We will be requesting intermittent traffic control. We won't be locking down any streets on a permanent basis at all, but obviously when the cameras are rolling and the car is moving, we probably will request that the cops hold traffic while we, get that shot in, which would take, 90 seconds to 2 minutes at a time. Then the car would turn around and begin again. If we're lucky to get it quickly, in my experience, it usually takes a couple of times to get these things right. But safety, of course, is our, main concern. Something that's not indicated on the request as well is that we want to place picture cars on the sidewalk. So obviously, we would have to hold the parking there until the picture cars show up. We do have parking attendants. We'd be happy to, take care of that ourselves with your permission. As far as the traffic control goes on, obviously we will make our requests, but anything that goes down will be at the discretion of your police.
So So are you requesting no parking, from, because we have to put up 48-hour notices if we want people to adhere
Yes,
to no
please.
parking?
That would be on the side of, I guess if you're facing Water Street, the left side from here. So in front of the businesses. I don't believe there's parking allowed on the other side, as far as I know. But
On West Front Street?
But I'm new here. No, on Broad Street. But I'm new here, so you tell me.
Question.
Wait, you
Yes.
don't believe there's parking on which side of Broad Street?
Well, again, I'm not good with the whole north-south thing.
That's north, that's south. So north
Okay,
is the
so
bay.
north, yeah, north from
is the
here.
bay.
So yeah, we would wanna patrol parking wherever. Long story short, we wouldn't want any civilian vehicles in our shop, you know. It's
Okay.
just protocol, we bring our own vehicles for that.
So just to get the position straight, you're gonna be on the north side, you're gonna be north of Front Street on Broad Street, down towards the bay, down the hill.
Right, and coming towards here, though. We start there and end here.
Okay.
Mr. Torres,
Yes.
just for my own information, we made 3 5-minute film for United Airlines,
Okay.
and we started at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we ended up at 5 o'clock during the day. Is that what you?
Our day is 12 hours, but what we are doing is 3 hours at Union Beach.
Yeah.
Then we'll do 3 hours here on this street, and then 3 hours, Lake George. I'm not familiar with the names of all the bridges around here. It's the one over by Up the Creek, I believe it's called. That bridge there, we're gonna do a
But you
shot.
tie
Oh,
up
that's
the
not
tunnel
way
for the
bridge
whole
also.
day.
That is right.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's what I'm getting at is you tie up that whole area for the whole day, though, right?
No, we are not, our intention is to be in and out of here in 3 or 4 hours, in this particular street, yeah.
Okay.
And you have Aberdeen Police notified of this also?
Yes.
Because, we share in that bridge.
Yes. As one of my other colleagues is kind of handling that area, I don't want to speak out of turn because I'm not 100% sure, but I believe we're not placing a camera on the Aberdeen side, and I believe what they told us was if you're just driving a car over the bridge and not filming on their side.
But would you need them to hold traffic so that
Oh,
your car,
we were going to have officers from Keyport help there as well.
can we do that, Mr. Gallo?
No.
I'm sorry.
I don't think we can patrol their territory if it's Aberdeen side of the bridge, can we?
If they're off duty, we very frequently share off-duty officers. Maybe they can coordinate. I'm sure they will.
Just want to make sure everything's covered.
I'm happy to investigate with them as well, that front.
At least I think they should be informed so that they're aware of what's.
They've definitely been made aware, but like I said, I would bring this to my colleagues who's handling that, and, and also we had our tech scout today, so, we had about 25 people on the
So you
street
had
today.
lunch at Jacob House? That's
Yeah.
what you did, right?
Yeah. But basically, today is when all the,
So your next test, we require you to have restaurant at one of our restaurants in Keyport.
oh yeah, well, I don't know how our catering is as of yet, but, more often than not, a lot of our guys do go to the local businesses to eat.
As these are on county roads, I just want to clarify that I have informed Andrew Smith that you're going to need to check with the county and get permission.
Yeah, the ball's rolling on that as well.
One question.
It's okay, it's okay. We can move on down the days, go ahead, Joe.
All right, during the high-speed portion, should we have a first aid rig?
Oh, we will have the medics on site, always, yeah.
Your own, or you need?
Well, we'll have ours. If you feel that you should have someone there, we wouldn't be against it.
They cannot be part of the shoot. You're not driving the ambulance that way down the
Photogenic
street.
people. All right, you're welcome.
Hold on a second, Councilman Potapos is on meeting.
Is there, go ahead, Councilwoman.
No, it's okay.
Okay, is this an ongoing series?
Oh, it is.
And are you gonna be coming back to Keyport?
Nothing has been decided as of now, but we always consider any location a possible recurring location.
Okay,
But as of right now, there are no plans.
okay.
Yeah, so my question is also, you also blocking pedestrian walking?
Only intermittently. What we're going to do is we're going to hire extra production assistants to be inside any of the businesses. That's for safety as well as to not have anyone walk out on our shot. I don't believe there's going to be much visible in terms of where the camera positions are. It's mainly mounted on the car, so you'll only see the driver, and then an outside shot where we're just kind of seeing the car come in. Again, I'm not 100% sure what the blocking is on the shot, but we will have, you know, if need be, it would only be intermittent. It would- A very polite, would you mind holding on for 1 second? And quite frankly, if they don't want to stop, we don't physically stop them.
This is more of a clarification. Are we allowed to block pedestrian park on Green Acres, pedestrian passage?
We'll be on Green Acres.
That's not on Green
That's not-
Acres.
Oh, so it's not going up the corner? Is that?
No, they're coming from.
From Jacob up the hill to here,
Oh, we're going left, okay.
not towards the road.
So people, if you request them, we'll honor your request.
Okay.
And we will have, we will also have people out this week with resident letters, and we basically let everyone in the area, make them all aware of, you know, of our presence and what will be happening.
Mr. Torres,
Yes,
you're probably aware that Big Night was filmed down here, the
Yeah.
movie Big Night.
good movie.
Yeah, great movie. The production team was here for some time, and they, I'm not saying you have to do this, but it went over very well when they hired some local PAs.
Okay.
From the borough or from the local, from Brookdale Community College. So there's plenty of, you know, there's 1 million PAs and 100 jobs, so.
I will definitely pass it on to my boss.
And Dennis will volunteer as an extra.
I'm done with that. That was, Big Night was fun, but, you know, let some young folks have that.
Young whippersnappers.
I just want to reiterate, there's plenty of people that would be great PAs for you.
Mhm.
They're probably some sort of interest in film, so thanks for coming.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor, Councilman.
I got a quick question.
Sure.
Actually, mine's just the form. Who put the little block on the back, the excluding any liability language?
That was ABC's attorney.
Okay. I was just wondering, because I said, hopefully that's not ours. That way we handle contracts
That
like
was a change that they had made to the contract.
Oh, no, that's fine. I just didn't, they added it as opposed to our
Yeah.
form needed.
That's
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mr.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions on communications? You had questions on those two, right?
Yeah, it was just 4 and 5, it was about base camp and putting Megan's in the launch house to be
Yeah,
production TV.
we do have some experience with these.
Yeah, I spent 10 years as a director still. so
Oh, nice.
And then,
I was in
item
third
number
grade,
1, can we just
Amy.
clarify for minutes purposes, can we just put 9 AM to 6 PM? If you don't mind, please. And I know there's an email attached, but do we have to have them do a borough application, Steve, or no?
Yeah, we can do that.
Only because it's a private entity,
Sure.
it's not ours. And then obviously just have the police notified about it. Following weekend is the 5K. And item number 3, can we look into whether that is even on ordinance as to whether there's no parking there?
Yes.
Okay. Can I have a motion for approval for items number 1 through? Oh, I lied. Sorry.
Hey, what's going on?
We have to
Motion to
open
open to the public?
Sorry.
Oh, motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public wish to speak on items number 1 through 5 on the agenda? Communication. Yes, Mr. Lee?
Couple quick questions. Is this a movie or TV show?
Television show. As a matter of fact, we have a trailer online if you want to check it out. We've already shot the pilot, so it looks good.
I'll share with you my one experience relative to television show. I sold my sailboat in 2 days to a television production company, and it was involved in the TV show Elementary.
Yeah.
Last time I saw my sailboat, it had in big red letters written across the hull, "Pervert."
Well.
I love that show.
Anyone else from the public? Have a motion to close.
Motion closed.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I now have there's also a
6,
clean
right?
communities report so can I have a motion?
Motion to receive and file?
Thank you. Can we move that in the future, just the under reports for the departments? So, clean communities. resolution for approval of communications and receive and file item number 6.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, and roll call.
Councilman Sheridan?
Yes.
Councilman Cooper?
Yes.
Councilman Good?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacheco?
Yes.
Councilman Stokes?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDermott?
Yes.
Next, we have minutes. I have a couple tweaks on those. First, it's been corrected already, that it's June 18th, 2019. The agenda said July, but that's already been corrected. On May 21st, under mayor's updates, I'll just flip it up. There was announcing the garden walk was upcoming, so it was a 2019 meeting, not 2020. That was for that upcoming one. June 18th. Under mayor's updates, can we just switch that to new picnic tables were ordered and assembled? I definitely did not order and assemble them. I mean, I didn't assemble them, that's for sure. Could we just switch the wording on that? New picnic tables were ordered and assembled. Item number R-19919 was the approval of us allowing the scouts to be down at the waterfront to sell prepackaged items. Do we know if the resolution was updated? Because when we motioned for that, we said that they can't go out into the crowds, that they had to stay by the table.
Yeah, that was not okay.
We can discuss that, so if we can update that.
I would defer to the attorney on that because I don't recall what they updated it in.
I have to look at my notes, but I definitely, I remember the conversation, and I probably have in my notes the additional language that was there.
What date was that?
There was another June 18th minute, and the R-19919.
Yeah, I can get back on that as far as the language that was added, but if it was discussed as added and voted on, then that's what was approved by the council.
Okay, so just on our resolution book, can you just make sure that the correct one gets over?
Yes.
And then when we get to the approval of R-20719, I know some of the commentary is listed in the minutes, but I do believe there were several other comments. Mr. Good made his points in favor of it. So then why is any of the commentary? So you included Councilman Fotopoulos, and I know Councilman Pacheco was in favor of it, and so I think she, as well as Councilman Sher, everyone had commentary on it, so I just don't know how we select who put in commentary and who didn't.
What would you like to amend?
So I'm asking them, you know, how do we
When I
have
was
part
looking over-
commentary and not
No, I
part?
saw it.
Yeah, when I was looking over the minutes, it was, these minutes are typically summarizing, and since both the CD and the recording in the minutes are public record, and nothing screamed out, but
Just that there was extensive discussion
yeah, that's,
Right.
amongst all council members.
Can we add that? Because it says on here, no
Yep.
further comments were added, were discussed, and that's not accurate, because everyone, that was a pretty long, in-depth conversation. So, and in both directions, which are fine, but I just, for the matter of record, 4 years from now, when we want to look back at this, it looks like there was really not much discussion, and then it says no further comments were discussed.
I think, I agree, I think that's fine, if it's extensive, what you and Councilman Good are saying, extensive, that's fine. Just to, in some ways, based on my experience with how the borough records minutes, if I really want to dive deep into it, I'll always get.
Right, so what his suggestion is fine, and what you're saying is fine, Councilman, both
Yep.
councilmen, but if we still maybe just change that, that discussion occurred, as opposed to no further comments occurred, if that's fine.
Agreed.
Is that okay?
So you, please just tell me what extensive discussion occurred?
Additional discussions occurred, and then was closed to the public, or what have you, or
Additional
commentary took place.
Yeah, additional and extensive commentary occurred.
Perfect. Okay. So with those updates, can I have a motion to approve both
the
sets?
edits.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstain or opposed, anyone not present? I think everyone was here. Okay, reports of departments?
Can I just make, Mayor, can I interrupt real quick? I'm sorry. I want to clarify that, yes, indeed, the health department and registrar's report is in here. I missed it, and I apologize.
That's it, get out.
Yep.
So can I have a motion to approve the reports by department?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any new business on the day?
So Mayor, I was looking to have our annual hurricane preparedness meeting, like, probably the third week in September. And then possibly a drill with the local emergency planning committee in October. We can talk about that further.
Any other new business?
I think there's a cadet competition coming up next year.
Any unfinished, Mr. Gallo, do you have new business or not?
I do not.
Any unfinished business? Mr. Gallo?
No.
Attorney's report?
Nothing to report. Good call.
Can I have a motion to open to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Open to the public, Mr. Blue?
Edward Road, 59 West Front Street, Keyport. On closed session, are you allowed to indulge the name or what the closed session is about? I know something,
Did you say indulge the what?
the name of the, in closed session. You're gonna have a closed session meeting tonight, correct?
Correct.
Is that on a person?
It's not an individual, it's related to a project that was taking place in the borough, and it was for work performed for the borough and could potentially lead to litigation down the line. We're working towards a resolution now.
All I wanna know, thank you.
Anyone else from the public? Mr. Career?
Ed Carew, 64 Broadway. My wife and I do a lot of work at the library garden on Thursdays, and one of the patrons happened to notice the chimney, and that's the first time someone's come up and said there's something wrong here, So I was curious as to, are we moving forward with the repair to the chimney?
We've had difficulty finding a contractor, the number of contacts we've made, and we'll be there Thursday, and people don't show up. But I believe Trevor has identified someone who's going to respond and take a look at it. We have had it analyzed by our engineers who feel that there's no immediate danger.
Okay. It just looks bad, and then, I'm not sure what to tell people when they ask. So I know the past history, but I don't know currently what's going forward.
We're working on it.
Thank you. Mr. Fox?
Daniel Potts, 40 Church Street, for the police commissioner. How many officers do we have?
We have 16, including the chief, but we've had 2 hires, so that'll bring us to 18 once the last hire gets through the academy.
Okay. I see that we purchased 40 portable radios.
I know that the chief had implied that there were equipment, including radios that needed replacements, they're probably the replacement radios.
Well, those are just portable radios, that's not counting the car radios, plus the 10 free radios the first aid got. I mean, we spent, just in radios, $322,454.92.
Conversation with the chief.
But why do we need all these extra radios?
I know
There's-
they needed to replace equipment, but I can certainly have a conversation with the chief.
Right, they replaced the radios, but if we had 20 cops, why do we need an extra 20 radios?
And we'll find out.
I mean, because the county dispatch has now cost us upwards, for first year, almost $500,000. Not counting the $28 and change for the airtime cards for each fire truck, 2 chief's cars, the first aid, the police, not counting their laptops. It's getting very expensive, on top of staffing 24 hours here. So I do not see how we have saved any money. If the council could bring back next month the savings that the borough has made since we went to county, I'd really appreciate that.
I do believe that there were extensive upfront costs, because we all knew that the equipment, including what's in the dispatcher, needed to be updated anyway, so
So
I don't believe that we knew that there was a savings up front for the first 3 months we would be in process, because we knew whether we went with county dispatch or not, upgrades needed to be done in the dispatcher room as well as with radio.
So we updated our dispatch center in here.
It's going to be updated, correct?
Why would we do that?
We needed to. No, we were
Why?
replacing.
For being county dispatch, why would we spend $160-something thousand to update a system that we're using?
We weren't,
We're there to bring in their
we are
system.
using it.
Right.
We bring a new system.
We're using the current system for DPW.
So we're gonna
We're
spend it.
keeping both, aren't we?
We have a backup system in
Right.
case an emergency like
Correct.
Sandy happens and we need a communications on our own. The new equipment that we're getting though is from insurance proceeds.
Correct.
If,
Because of the accident, correct.
I think, the answer, I think, is we needed to replace the equipment that was there.
Right, it was $166,000 to replace the entire dispatch center.
We needed to replace that no matter what.
Right, but if we had done that and stayed here, we wouldn't have had to spend almost $500,000 for radios.
Not really sure that's right, but we'll look at it.
That's right, because Middletown went to the county dispatch, and they did not opt to go to encrypted radios because of the cost. And just like I brought up before you guys went to the county, all these extras, and they're adding up quickly.
Well, look, get back to you on that.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Lane?
Michael Lane, 51 First Street, Keyport. I have an issue that's related to Dennis's plastic bags. Valerie, did somebody have use of the promenade or the gazebo on Saturday?
Sorry, I'd have to look at the calendar, I don't know offhand.
The reason I ask is I was sitting out on my deck and a flock of at least a dozen helium-filled balloons went right by it. And the wind was directly out of the west-southwest. And so my question is, how do we enforce the no balloon process?
We don't currently have some, I'm sorry.
Pardon?
We don't currently have a no balloon release, it's just that when applications have come to us and they have indicated that they wanted to do a balloon release, we have said no.
We haven't had a request for that, so I'm gonna assume without looking at the calendar, because we would have had it on the agenda, that wasn't requested, yeah, it wasn't
And it
planned.
could have just
or
been the
known to
public
us.
doing it, but maybe that is something that we're gonna move forward with the environmental
Yeah,
commission if they
balloons.
recommend that as the balloon release.
I had the perception we had a no balloon release.
We have, as my understanding is that when they come forward with a waterfront application, if they've requested it in their application, we have approved the reservation of the waterfront, but not approved the balloon release. But if someone does it without a request, we don't know they're going to do it.
So do we have
We do not currently have a ban that I'm aware of.
we don't prohibit it when they it doesn't stay in the contract to use it, that you're prohibited from releasing balloons.
I think-
Dennis, I think you need to work that one,
I will work that one.
because there was a large number of balloons, and a couple of them didn't make it out of Keyport Harbor.
I'll tell you what, I've been 100 miles out at sea, and I've seen, you know, Mylar balloons floating on the surface, so they just float, you go, get caught up in float. If we're asking the public, or if we're prohibiting the public from releasing balloons, can we do that with, I mean, I would think that if we're doing that, we must have a resolution, we must have some sort of law prohibiting it, do we, or?
There is currently no ordinance that prohibits the release of balloons in Keyport. Administratively, we can make it a requirement if you wish to get a permit for public use, and
Okay.
we also could introduce and pass an ordinance prohibiting balloon releases.
Yep.
Yeah, later that evening, I went up on West Front Street to one of the outside establishments, and there was a large number of balloons in that establishment.
Okay.
At one point in time, we talked about having a tax assessor's report.
Wait, hold on a second, can we interrupt? We're not banning balloons in the town, we're considering possibly having a discussion on banning balloon releases.
Releases, right.
So we're not gonna ban balloons from
No.
restaurants,
No,
just for clarification, I don't think there's any intention of that.
we're gonna, yeah.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
Balloon releases, but then that says the restaurant's gotta keep the balloons under control, just not floating freely inside, underneath the canopy.
Just one final observation too, there is a severe helium shortage, so people have been having difficulty getting helium to inflate balloons.
In this case, they certainly found helium. Tax assessor's report, is there any status report coming out?
I'm glad you reminded me of that. He was advised to submit a report, and I have not received it, so I will speak to him and make sure that that's included on a regular basis.
So that would cover valuations and percentage of properties inspected, et cetera.
Yes.
Okay. I'll just make a comment. There's an alternative program having to do with streetscapes. So I took a walk through town looking at streetscapes. And I encourage members of council to do that. Matter of fact, all you have to do is walk right across the street, and you'll see brick streetscapes absolutely covered in weeds. They're not well maintained. The bricks are uneven, and there's been problems over on First Street with the bricks settling, with people tripping on the bricks.
Not to cut you off, Mike, but the Transportation Alternative Program will not have any brick pavers included.
All right, so the streetscape will not include the brick pavers.
That's correct.
That's good news. Okay. Oh, the other thing that came up was the bridge on Main Street on the St. Joe's side and the bridge on the Keyport side at Maple and Broadway. The suggestion that was made that the left-hand lane be left-hand turn only, the right lane be center, and no turn on red, I think is absolutely essential, but on both sides of the bridge. I was coming back from Mattawan about 2 days ago, and there was a really bad accident where somebody had made a right turn, and you can come down Main Street and you're allowed to make a left-hand turn right across on that one road there next to the bridge.
Okay.
And I think there's been repeated accidents at that location.
Talking about Nappy and Maple?
No, the other side.
Where Henry Rinkowitz has his.
Right, Nappy and Maple.
Yeah.
That's exactly the left we're trying to stop.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and,
Oh, actually, that's the right we're trying to stop, so people can make a left.
right,
Correct.
right. I think that will eliminate a lot of risk and accidents.
We've had the county look at that.
There are frequent accidents at that corner.
I mean, this was a pretty bad accident. last week. So I think anything you can do to make that happen, that's great.
Thank you.
All right, I have one question for the attorney. About two council meetings ago, I shared with the attorney that the resolution that was being referenced in the 75 Manchester resolutions relative to the borough being designated an area in need of redevelopment was incorrectly referenced. And I provided the attorney a copy of Resolution 100-07, which just provides a definition of the process to be used in area of redevelopment. Did you, you said you were gonna look at that. Did you look at that?
Yeah, it was, the number was incorrect
Right.
on that resolution.
And so what's the, is there a problem?
No.
I mean, multiple resolutions with incorrect numbers?
I think we changed it, didn't we say?
It was, I believe if I recall correctly, we removed that whole paragraph from the resolution because it was really, it was just more of a background issue than anything else for the resolution. So it didn't have anything to do with the action the council was taking. So if I recall correctly, that section was removed and any future resolutions related to the 75 Manchester project will reference the correct resolution.
Well, but the future resolution, which is the financial agreement, had the same problem in it. So we haven't fixed it everywhere. And one of the reasons I bring this
What
up.
was the financial agreement? I'm sorry.
A financial agreement with, to fund the Beacon planning.
Okay.
That was approved by the council.
That,
Also
you're
has-
saying that one also?
Yes, that has the incorrect resolution.
I'll look into that, but I'll make sure that, we get the correct resolution to that.
One of the reasons I'm concerned that we didn't have the right resolution is because I sort of get the perception the members of the council may not be familiar with Resolution 105-07, which was the resolution that designated the whole borough as an area in need of rehabilitation. And as part of that resolution, and we worked very hard on it back in 2007, there was a set of conditions that were adopted by mayor and council for any future redevelopments to meet. And these conditions were based on the work that was done in the 2004 Smart Growth Program, which was probably involved approximately 100 residents of Keyport. And it's the goals in that statement by mayor and council very much align with what's in the present master plan. And so I'm really concerned that you guys don't have this on the top of your list. I'm going to send you an email with the resolution and the statement of requirements. And
You're saying these requirements are incorporated in the most recent master plan?
yes, yeah. In terms of goals and objectives.
And that was the rehabilitation plan identifying a redevelopment plan?
Yeah.
Right, the 1007, he's referring to as rehabilitation, right.
2005-07 resolution
Correct.
was the resolution that established, I'll share it with you.
The whole borough is.
Right, but that was for rehabilitation. I thought the night that we talked about this 2 meetings ago, it was your
Talk about redevelopment.
decision that it was not referenceable. Am I wrong?
This is the resolution that then, as part of the rehabilitation, establishes the ability to have a redevelopment plan in the borough.
Correct.
And it then states under what conditions those redevelopment plans can be implemented.
Just from a logistics standpoint, am I correct in saying that the borough needed to be established as an area in need of rehabilitation before we can proceed with areas in need of redevelopment? I know this is coming up.
That's not correct.
Okay, that's not correct.
And the scattered site redevelopment supersedes, and 75 Manchester was on that. correct?
No, I think the scattered site, references these same resolutions. You need to go back and look
It
at
references the fact that that the borough was an area in need of rehabilitation.
I believe that was removed from the final, resolution.
He's talking about the scattered sites.
Yeah, I think it was removed from that.
I don't have
It's
the
not
scattered
relevant.
site in front of me.
Original?
Yeah, it's not relevant.
I think it is relevant in terms of more than 100 residents who worked with the smart growth and then worked with the council to develop the guidelines.
What year was that?
It was 2004 was the smart growth, but then we worked with the council up through 2007.
Anything happened in the last decade, maybe?
Help me, tell me what you're thinking about.
No, I'm just saying, things change. You're talking about things that occurred. We actually had a new master plan.
I
We
think
had another
if
100
you look at the new master plan, you'll see it aligns very well with these guidelines.
Right.
Very well. And Dennis, I think you commented that the smart growth in 2004 aligns very well with the master plan.
It does.
And I would encourage you all to look at the 2004 smart growth, look at the master plan, and I will send you a copy of the resolution with these guidelines.
Thank you, Mr. Lane. And, yes, Mr. Wiley?
George Wallen, 54 Second Street. A couple of issues. To the attorney, I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job, but if Mr. Lane gave you this information 2 weeks ago, your report tonight said you had nothing to report on. When Mr. Lane just questioned you on it, you said it was taken care of. Shouldn't that be part of your report?
Taken care of at the last meeting, or taken
I
care
don't
of
know
now?
when it was taken. You said it was taken care of.
At the last meeting, we removed the paragraph that had the incorrect citation to the 2007 resolution. So
Right.
that was removed.
Before-
But that was the
But shouldn't that
resolution
came
for
on
that.
your report tonight then? When they asked you, do you have a report? You said, I have no report.
There was action taken by the council 2 months, or a month ago.
Regardless,
We
It's
meet,
not
Did
in
you ever
business.
follow
We had
up?
a meeting in between them.
did you ever follow up with Mr. Lane in regards to his question?
well, can I clarify, I think there's
Can I
confusion.
talk to the attorney, please?
Hold on one second.
No, you hold on one second. I'm talking to
No.
the,
No.
I'm talking to the attorney.
Excuse
Wallen,
me,
she's
Mr.
the mayor.
Walling. I just
I'll
would like to
approach you when I'm
clarify.
ready. I'm
She's
talking
the
to the
mayor.
attorney.
Mr. Walling.
Mrs. Mayor,
Exactly, who runs the meeting?
go ahead.
I just want to clarify the fact that what he was saying is that we made that extraction before we voted on it 2 meetings ago. There wasn't something else to follow up on, is what I wanted to clarify. We made
Did
at
you ever
that
get an
meeting.
answer like from him?
At the meeting, he stated he would follow up on it, and I never
Okay, thank you.
received any input at any
But
time.
my understanding though, Mr. Lane, is that before we voted on it, that we extracted that and it was taken care of at that meeting.
I discussed the issue with my colleague who handles the redevelopment for the borough.
Yeah, but did you get back to Mr. Lane who brought it to your attention? Mr. Lane brings a lot of things to you guys' attentions up there,
Absolutely.
and nobody gets back to him.
Absolutely
That's
untrue.
not
Absolutely. Michael, do you agree with that statement? That nobody gets back to you? How much time do you spend in my office? Do we spend talking about issues that you bring to our attention? That is absolutely untrue and uncalled for.
Are you sitting up there?
George.
Are you sitting up there?
On a regular basis.
Raise your voice to me. Are you sitting up there?
Mr. Walling.
No, you're not sitting up there. I sit up there.
No, you don't.
Yes, I did.
You don't now.
Okay.
Mr. Walling, enough.
Can we all
Oh,
just
Mr. Walling,
take
enough.
it?
Yeah, throw me out.
It's all uncalled for, Mr. Walling.
It's not uncalled for.
It is, because no one
No
else
report.
behaves this way.
Take a listen to the minutes for the last month and a half, no report. What are we paying him for then?
So you'd rather
He
go
does
back,
more legal
you
work
would
for us
rather
than he
go
does.
back to when we have lawsuits out, I can't even explain how far, so the fact that we're able to work
Closed
with our
session,
borough and residents,
possible litigation. Go back to when?
when we had multiple lawsuits,
Oh, this is only one, okay. Thank you, I guess. You sign, Victoria, God bless you. You sign off on bills from the police department? Did you catch the 40 radios?
We had a meeting with the police commission about replacement for equipment that they needed, and in the meeting, Mr. Fallow was there as well, we told them that they could replace the equipment as needed. I will find out exactly why we had so many radios, and I will report back.
Well, my question is, did you sign off on that bill for the 40 radios?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And if I offended anybody, I apologize. But like I said, when you sit out here and you hear no report, gentleman asks a question, nobody gets back to him, it's kind of upsetting.
Mr. Fox?
I'm curious about the radios. Is that all for the police department? Or we were getting.
We don't have that information in front of us, but we will get it
I
for
will
you.
find out, and I will report back.
No, I mean, for some reason, I think that. that's
I
gonna
think it's
include
more
the
than
first
that.
aid.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's why.
First, they got 10
confirmed with the
radios
chief.
from the county for 8.
What about
They
OEM?
paid for
I'm not sure.
40.
But there were more, but what, I'm not sure, but we're checking whether or not the 40 went exactly to the police
That is
department
what
as
I want to
opposed
confirm
to,
with the chief to report
the
back.
40 were ordered, but
There's
5
50
were given
total
there.
of these
They always
narrow
get
band
compromised.
encrypted radios. But Dana Fox, how many pending lawsuits does the borough have against them right now?
I mean, define pending.
How many people are suing the borough right now?
Actually filed claims?
Filed claims.
Lawsuits?
A suit or filed intent to sue?
You mean, oh, you're talking about a tort claims?
Tort claim or that we are in litigation with?
Valerie, have we gotten any tort claims notices?
We do get them regularly. They're generally for tripping balls. but we do get
Offhand, how many have we received in the last 12 months?
I would say dozens. We frequently get them for all sorts of things.
No, I know, because you have to within 90 days or else you're
Sure.
excluded, so you send them in, but, how many actual filed lawsuits?
Should the attorney be able to answer that?
Well, the
Well,
tort
that's-
claims
those
lawsuit.
are-
Let's go with just actual lawsuits that are in the court system right now against the borough.
I can't speak to the Title 59 tort claim suits because those are handled by insurance.
Right.
So our firm doesn't handle those.
Okay.
Right now, there is, I believe, an appeal pending on an employment matter. Apart from that, I'm not aware of any other lawsuits that I'm working on.
I believe that's the only one.
Yeah, there's one appeal on an employment matter that I am aware of.
Okay.
I would know if there is other litigation. There's nothing in Superior Court as of right now, so I can say that. But yeah, apart from that appeal and what's ever, pending with the, the insurance carriers' attorneys, that's it.
Oh, wait, I do know, well, I know one, it was, they're trying to, the subrogation claim for the fire across the street, that's in.
That's
Handled by
that's
the
a
jail.
mess,
Yeah.
No, you asked.
No, I
you
know-
asked
I know
whether or
that
not
one, I know
That
that
one's
one.
actually in litigation, so.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Motion to close?
Motion closed.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
What do we have for closed session? Just one item.
Mental litigation.
Make a motion to close.
Second, Mr. Fallow,
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Resolution.
5-minute break, we'll resume at 8:03. Sorry.